Pledge of Allegiance and invocation.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pastor Nathan, please.
Love to. Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you so much that we can practice our freedom to assemble and sometimes even disagree, that we have the freedom to come in and gather. We thank you for our servants that are here, our elected officials. We ask you to watch over us during our meeting tonight, cause us to get along and be peaceful. Even if we disagree, to not make it personal, Lord. We ask for a spirit of peace over our meeting tonight. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
It's going to be a little bit different tonight. As you can see, we're down a few council members, so we don't have a quorum. So if you've looked at anything, if you've looked at the agenda, anything that has vote attached to it cannot take place tonight. But we can get through the general informational items and get through as quickly as possible. So first is the special presentation request from Tazewell Little League. We had already voted on that, so we've already approved, but I guess we really can't ratify the vote because we don't have a quorum. Next, the Tazewell High School Band Boosters donation request. Andrew Reagan.
We have received a donation request from the Tazewell High School Band Boosters. In the past, last year, we had donated $400 to this. The request is for band camp. They have 80 kids that will be attending band camp on July 21st through July 25th. It will be held at Emory and Henry, and they have requested $500 to go toward the band camp. So again, we don't have a quorum, but if you all choose to support that, we can do that at another time when we have a quorum to go.
Thank you. So next, Tazewell Torpedoes request. Tammy Gillespie.
I have to be first. I'm not sure how to watch somebody.
If you could come up and state your name and address, please.
Okay. Right here?
Yeah.
That'd be fine. Hi, I'm Tammy Gillespie. I live in 178 Cody Street, North Tazewell. And last month, I was here on behalf of the swimming team at Torpedoes. But you all had it the week before, so I missed out, but I told Ann what I was here for, and she asked that I could come back tonight. Jim couldn't make it. They have a meeting tonight, and he told me a couple of things to say. There's 14 children in the town on the swim team, and they're in need of it's a real lane divider. The kids get in the water and pull it, but it's a reel that divides within the pool. It's been fixed 3 times, and they can't fix it anymore. It's beyond. And so they looked at a new one, and it's going to be $2,000. And he also said it's been 10 years since he's asked for anything. So I figured maybe, 10 years it would be maybe okay to ask for that. But that's all that Jim had asked, and he told me not to make anyone mad. But I wanted to, myself as a grandmother, say it's fantastic. We support our football teams. It's fantastic. And our soccer and our baseball. But we also have a swim team. And I don't know if the town isn't aware of that. 10 years, a long time ago without, anything. But they don't ask for anything. And they don't want to ask for anything. But I'm a grandma, I'm going to ask. My grandkids are on there, and it's slowly dying. We've got to...
Did you say there's only 14 kids on there?
No, sir, there's 14 from Tazewell.
Oh.
But there's not much more than that. I mean, there's not a whole lot of kids now. And it used to be huge. It was huge. Kids got scholarships, and we had some great swimmers now. I mean, swimming's it's a great activity for them. And my children went. But my grandchildren, it's not looking good, and I think they need all the support that they can get. So, as a grandma, I'm asking for that, at least to support. But that's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Leanne, is that something that's part of our normal maintenance and upkeep?
I think that it's something that's for the swim team. I don't know that it's something that we use. I can find out more. That, I think that was for the swim team.
Purchased by the town. If we can find out more information about
Okay.
how it came to be. Okay, next, Alan McGraw, selling property.
So she sort of softened up counsel. I have here an aerial view of the topic for tonight, along with the deed. As we review the enclosure. So, greetings to the mayor, the council, the newly minted madam manager, and congratulations. I'm here today on behalf of Donald and Harold and Donna Marinas. And I think most people here know them as longtime residents of the town. And I suspect you also are aware they operate now 3 businesses within the town. There's the North Tazewell Self-Storage Unit, and then the Tanglewood Way Apartments. And then most recently, and I think you probably are aware, they have renovated the building immediately above the mini park on Marion Avenue, which I will refer to as the Marinas building now, and turned it into 2 really nice apartments and an office space.
Is that 163 on the drawings, or is it
32.
132?
This guy would know it. And by the way, the Marinas building on Marion Avenue, all that is rented now. So it is a going concern, so to speak. I think everybody's also aware they had quite a journey to get to that place with the building because of issues with drainage and such. But the town owns a smallish parking area between the Marinas building and the mini park. And this is mapped and assessed along with the mini park, but it's referenced as a separate lot in deeds going back as far as 1944. And the owners of what is now the Marinas building have certain rights to the lot. And I'm not going to go any further because that's why you've got these excellent attorneys to interpret things and tell you what they think. But the 1944 language is repeated in every deed in the chain of title. That same language you've got there. The Marinas believe that if they could acquire that small area, it would be an ideal addition to the Marinas building. And they're prepared to purchase it if the town is willing under the following terms. They would offer the town $2,000. They would pay for a survey, which would be required. They would pay for deed preparation and recording costs. So there would be no cost to the town. Now, you might say, why? Well, from their perspective, of course, it's a natural addition to the Marinas building. They've got 2 tenants, residential, and then there is an office rented there. Of course, if the town was to decide to sell, or IDA informed, it would be added to the tax rolls. Now, that's not a big tax advantage, but it would go on the tax rolls. And it would facilitate businesses in town. Because I know that town council is all in stimulating business. And here you have a residential landlord, and it would facilitate that. I would also point out that if you've been on the lot, on the west side of the lot, there is a retaining wall which has started to tilt considerably. If the town was to sell, or IDA was to sell, no longer be the town's worry or responsibility, that would be the Marinas. The Marinas also are committed to working with the town to deal with drainage issues, and there are some drainage issues. There's both flow from Marion and other places that really needs to be properly addressed for the benefit of adjoining owners and then, of course, the Marinas. And then with advance notice, the Marinas have agreed to free up that space. If the town has an event at the mini park where they really need a couple more spaces, they're more than prepared to work with the town to open up that space because they can see that. So with that all said, I guess pretty quickly, stand ready to answer any questions you've got today or tonight, and I stand ready to answer any questions you may have going forward. I think you all know where I am and how to get in touch with me. And of course, the Marinas have joined us so that they can add their own perspective if you have any questions. So I'm all ears.
No questions? Will, anything? No?
That was easy. So she did soften you up.
Did a good job. Like I said, unfortunately, we don't have.
And I don't think we contemplated asking for action. We just wanted to get it in front of you in terms of thinking about it.
Okay.
So with that, then I will head back there.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
I'd like to add something to that.
Yeah. Come on up.
Like he talked about, with the drainage, there is a horrible drainage problem. And I think John can tell you that too, because the water runs over the wall right into his slot. And with controlling the drainage, I've already had Donnie up there looking and stuff like that. And the number one way to control it is to pave it. And then we can channel it and we can pipe it out. But you know, I don't think the towns will spend money to pave it and do all that, but if we bought it, we would pave it. But we would need about a year before we pave. We'll still go ahead and do the drainage thing first, but then the paving would come within about a year, because we would need to pay a little bit of money, because we are way upside down in that building.
I've heard some of the horses.
Yeah, it's starting to roll good now and everything, and it's been totally remodeled inside and out, everything, new windows, new everything. And everything on the inside was, even though it's not a historic building or in a historic district, we still put it back with the back bands, the big wider boards, baseboards, everything. Kept the old doors, dismantled all the hardware, polished the brass. It's good looking. But if you have any questions, you know, that's the reason we wanted this, is so we can answer anything anybody would ask. Try to get it fixed.
We appreciate that. It'll be something that we all discuss once we have the group to discuss it. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
So next on the list is our local business recognition. We have Fly Nails by Emily. If you'd like to come up. I heard the spiel last night, so I know that these gentlemen hear what you're all about.
Well, some of you already know me. My name is Emily Vance. I do nails. I've been doing it for 2 years. I just opened up a salon on Main Street. And I'd like to be more involved with Main Street, anything possibly. But I wanted to just make it known that it was out there. And it's out there for even men. Like, I'm talking to a bunch of men, but men get meetings too, you know. So, but I just wanted to introduce it out there. I've been doing nails for 2 years. I've been doing them in the hair salon for the first year and a half of my career. So I'm excited to just start my own. Right now I'm on my own, hoping to get somebody in to do pedicures or something, because I do not do pedicures just because I'm just so busy and back to back constantly, which I'm blessed and thankful for. But I do wish to hire somebody. But I'm here to offer if anybody wants an appointment. Definitely get on my books. But I just wanted to introduce my business on Main Street.
Glad you did.
Now,
Like I
I'll
said
say
last night.
this town really cares about their community, and I can tell. So I'm very thankful to be on Main Street in Tazewell.
We're glad to have you. Let's do a picture and give a
Oh, yeah, you don't get to sit down.
Wait.
Oh,
Mother, that's for you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
coming. So, the approval of minutes, we can't do. The approval of the financial statements, we can't do. I guess if there's any questions about any of those, we could discuss, but we can't vote to approve. Committee and conference updates, Planning Commission Committee, do you want to give an update?
Yeah, I think in your packet, or tablets there, you got the Tazewell Community Health Center, which is in front of the hospital. This is not the Chris Wormuth new building. This is the one that's there already. With them being in the commercial overlay district, we went over that at the Planning Commission last Monday, referred it to y'all to vote for. The setbacks are met, everything's met on it. Parking spaces suffice. They're only taking 3 to add the pharmacy inside. So maybe we'll vote on it with email or something later, because Swope is waiting to on this vote to start.
So this could be something we could handle via email
Yeah.
to get it going, so.
Other thing, confer with Brad to make sure.
That way we won't slow down the construction process.
Yeah, they've been out, they took stuff out there about 2 days ago,
Okay.
I believe, and they're ready to go.
And this is where, this is the Chris Ware? Or
No.
not? This one is where?
This is
That was in front of the hospital.
Oh, okay, I got you. All right.
The pharmacy, if you go under the canopy,
Mhm.
the overhead is right around the corner, it'll be on the Granton side. Adding 600 square feet. The pharmacy just for people inside there, it's not a walk-in pharmacy.
Gotcha. Okay. Any questions? No? Yeah. So unfinished business miscellaneous, had none. So new business, Route 460 water line project update, Manager Reagan.
We had a bid put out for a Route 460 project, and it is for materials only. We will be doing all of the work in-house. And that bid opening, we had one company that had submitted a bid. They were looked over by our engineers, which was Thompson and Litton, and we have awarded the bid to Core and Main. Their bid came in at $475. That was over just a little bit by like $92,000 of what we were expecting, but it's only over 92. So we didn't even think we would get to all the phases. And there's possibly a grant that we could apply for that Pam from Thompson and Litton had told me about, that we might be able to actually get that funding to finish the whole project. So that one's to be determined, but that's where we are with Route 460. And we have already gotten an order in parts, so as soon as we get some parts, we'll start digging.
So the order's in place, we should be expecting materials. Any questions?
When's the construction expected to start?
As soon as we get some parts,
Okay.
we'll start digging. There's 3 phases, and they're planning on starting there at, the easiest way for me to say it would be right there at the Fincastle Red Light at Fincastle Motor Inn. There's a pump station there. So I may give y'all way too much information.
No, it's okay.
There's a 6-inch line that feeds on out into a 12-inch line. So our goal is we're going to upgrade that to a 12-inch line. It'll help with the water flow, it'll help with fire protection, it'll help with the friction of the water, it'll help fill our tanks up better. That's our goal. And that's where we're planning on to start with the project.
So they're going to do the worst areas first?
Yes.
What about school traffic? Well, are we projecting to get that done before school starts?
Donnie and I had a dream. And that dream was we were going to get this project awarded, we were going to do it during the summer.
And here we are mid-July.
Yeah, and we don't have a part yet. So I think what the plan is, now depending on when we can get an actual inventory to start, The latest that we thought was we would close that down during the day, reopen it back at night, to try and help with school traffic. But our dream was to get it done before school.
Okay, so next is engineering and architectural services retainer agreement update.
We did an RFQ for this, and we had a bid opening. There were 2 companies that bid, and that was Thompson & Litton, who we have currently been using, and New River Engineering. We scheduled interviews with both. They did very nice jobs. Thompson & Litton was the highest scored, so we have awarded that contract to them. And maybe in the future, maybe we could look to New River for projects. If we bid out, we can make them aware of those projects and maybe have a relationship to work with them.
So this is one of those items where you can carry more than one,
You
correct?
can, yes. We did award to Thompson & Litton, but again, if we have something that we want to bid out, like we bid out the Route 460 specifically, we can absolutely let them know, and if they would like to bid, maybe that would give us a chance to work with them.
Thank you. Next, Pacer AI.
Okay. So, Placer AI is a software that will give you data on visitors to your town. Like, that's what we were specifically interested in. So Susan and I did a demo, and it was really neat, really was. So they have 30 clients in Virginia. It's a mobile intelligent module. I guess that's the more appropriate term. So on your phone, you have apps that it'll say, we will allow it to track you. Well, if you have those apps and allow tracking, Placer AI gets your data. Now, on mine, I have that turned off, so it
So
wouldn't
the
track
numbers
me.
would always be a bit skewed.
Yes. They use what's called geofencing. So the particulars of why we were interested in this was for our Back of the Dragon event, for our Main Street events. We want to see that people are coming, are attending, our tourism, that would be great for knowledge for that. For the geofence that is located at 500 Main Street, in the last 12 months, we had 238,000 visitors to our town in the last year. June the 10th, 2023, that was the Back of the Dragon event last year. They had a ping of 2,100 people. June the 8th of this year, they had pings for 3,590 people. So that's an increase of 1,400 people from year to year. Now again, if you don't have that
Turn
on your phone, if you were here, you're not going to get counted for that.
And also, if I'm there, I didn't drive here, so that doesn't differentiate me from somebody that came from somewhere else, correct?
Correct.
I think that's how I understood it, yes.
They also get information from credit card companies, so every time you swipe your card to pay for anything, they know where you're from, all the places you've stopped while you're here.
Pretty scared. That's why we don't hit yes when the app's asks us.
Something else that was kind of neat about this, it will show the home locations of your visitors. Like, we seen people that had came from, there was a lot from Richmond area that came for that event. There were people from Ohio, people from Johnson City. So that was good information to have. That will kind of let you know where to maybe market yourselves a little bit more. It'll even break it down into age groups. So, you know, if you have your, well, I'm not going to get into age groups. It will track your age groups to see this.
Careful.
And in your packet, we have 2 quotes from Placer AI. The first quote is 1 year, and it is a $13,000 invoice is what that would cost for a year, and that is unlimited access. You have 1 user that would be able to use it, and our other quote is for 2 years. The first year would be at $13,000, and your second year would be at $14,000. So that 2-year contract would be at $27,000.
So how many uses of this does Tazewell today get for free?
Was it 2?
2 permits, which is
I mean, why would we spend 13 grand if the organization we fund gets to use it for free?
I'm very glad you asked, because Tazewell today's invisible fence,
I know their Main Street designation ends at where the Painted Peak was.
It
and
does.
I've been fighting with DHCD to get it to go to one of the businesses that brings in the most business throughout the tourist season.
right?
But they seem reluctant to for some reason. That's.
So that's kind of why we would never get the data if we just used with Tazewell today. So,
But I mean, I just don't see.
$13,000 to stretch it another, remember how many yards that is down there? That's a lot of money.
yes.
And again, the organization that we fund gets to utilize it for free, so we can kind of dictate what events for those 2 times. I would hope anyway.
I know that Main Street Moments is
Oh,
one of theirs
absolutely. It's
today.
one of the most attended events.
So that's what I've got on Placer AI. If you all have questions, I'll do the best I can to answer it.
No, I went through, I mean, it's pretty neat software. It is a little concerning that, you know, someone doesn't have that turned on their apps, which there's a lot of paranoid people, you know, that don't turn them on, so your numbers are skewed right out the gate.
They are.
We'll discuss more, I'm sure. If we have questions, we'll
Yeah.
give you an email or something.
Speaking on behalf of Tazewell today, and I know I'm a little bit out of order, I don't believe that there's any information that the town wants that they can't get it at a phone call.
Right.
I mean, I want to make sure we're clear. There's not ever a question, we work in collaboration with the town.
Yeah, the reason we couldn't use it for this event was because of.
Oh, I'm with you on the DHCD,
Yeah.
100%.
So I think cracking that nut first and expanding down to, even where Main Street ends at, because you have businesses there too, you have H&R Block, you have others.
I suspect as the years go by, we'll be able to expand that. But for now, we've not had any.
Yeah, it's been difficult to say the least.
That's fair, difficult is fair.
All right. The next, Lincolnshire Park ball fields update.
So at our last meeting, you all were approached by someone interested in getting our adult softball league back. Donnie has had a gentleman from Johnson City, I can't remember the name of the company, but he's been out there and looked at our fields. He's going to give us a couple of different options of what we might be able to do, and a couple of different price options of what we may be able to do. I do know that he mentioned the infield maybe having turf. And, you know, I don't know anything about turf. I know about some grass. But
That's becoming a problem.
it is. So, you know, we'll get a quote, see what it would be. And as soon as I have that, I'll let you have it.
Appreciate it.
So what about a league for this year?
My understanding was that the
fences up.
Yeah,
a couple of weeks ago. There was last weekend, I believe.
Is
Weekend
that-
before last, they were playing adult softball. Yeah, so I think it's already started.
Yeah.
I think they've already been out there playing. There's someone emailed us about the lights being lit.
And just on that note, so yes, the lights at the park, the tennis court lights are on a timer. So those we can be okay with. So being that we're talking about a softball field improvement, we're gonna try to get a quote for a light timer for that field too.
And I would add bulb replacement in that because there's several bulbs that are,
Bulb replacements,
Bulbs.
okay.
I don't know who's responsible, if AEP has to come out and do it or what. So next, review the procurement policy and set public hearings, so we can't vote on that. Is there any discussion you guys want to have, or just table so we can do it when we have?
Just to put some public words to it, one of the things that we were looking at as we've, just been working together over the last year and a half or so, is increasing transparency to our public procurement policies and incorporating that into the code. Mr. Pyatt's given us an example of what we can do to update the code, and we have, I forget the exact name for that sheet that lines up.
Summary.
Summary of current
purchasing.
policies.
Yes.
Summary of
But
budget.
it could add the transparency, increase competition, and allow more folks access to know which items perhaps in local government business that they can compete in, and that's a good thing. So that's kind of just a housekeeping item that we're looking to process and improve moving forward.
So more coming on that. So next, Tazewell Community Health renovations. Yes, sorry.
Anybody have any questions about it?
Sounds pretty cut and dry.
It is, but it's in the overlay district, so we have to go through the procedure.
Okay. So,
And the company that built the place is doing the addition, so it's going to keep its character.
okay.
We'll just get an email out soon as we're able to poll everybody.
So law changes effective July 1st. Hope no one's broken before. So, this was for Brad. I mean, we can't vote on anything, but if you want to give us kind of synopsis, do you have it with you?
I do. I won't read the whole thing, but essentially it's, Brad explained to me that they do this every year. The town adopts the state code for traffic violations. So I'll check with Brad on whether we need to, I don't see it being an emergency,
Okay.
but if it is, we can
Yeah, we can do it.
do it by email or whatnot, but I think it should be fine to table it till next time, and I'll check with Brad.
Perfect. Next is miscellaneous. Nothing under there. Anybody signed in?
I did.
Dominic Thomas.
And then when I write John Thomas, there's like 11 of us. So I had to put my middle there.
I see that.
I'm not coming to complain, and I'm not asking for money. I started to write a letter. I started to drop an email to you folks, but I did not feel like that would suffice. I want to give you a public thank you. Just a little bit of background, I direct a summer camp in the Adria section of North Tazewell. It's outside the town limits, Camp Pocahontas. We can sleep up to 60 kids a week. This year for the tours, 107. So we were as close to full as we can just about get. And I had written an email to town council and to the town manager asking for some help with a discount or a break on taking them to the pool. Just so you're aware of who we serve. We serve kids from Tazewell County, Mercer County, McDowell County, and wherever else they show up, we don't care. A lot of our students have less than ideal home lives. They don't live with their parents, they live with grandparents, they live with a cousin or a neighbor. They don't know where the next meal's coming from. The refrigerator, there's no food, which a lot of us cannot fathom that's ever happened to us. They're sponsored by churches and individuals, and so I'm always scrounging for dollars when it comes to camp. and I'd ask the town just to help us out at the pool. Because for a lot of these kids, that's their summer vacation. And you folks came through in a big way, and I want to thank you for it. Across our 3 weeks, we went to the pool twice and to the aqua park once because the pool was closed one day. And my compliments to Leanne, to Town Manager Reagan, excuse me. You're only Leanne when you're off the clock, I guess. For calling me and saying, the pool's closed, what do you want to do? We'll open the aqua park. But instead of charging us $5 a person, you all agreed to charge us $2 a person. That's a 60% discount. You could not have made money. It should have cost us for those 3 days about $800. We paid about $330. I don't have the checks in front of me. So that's huge. That's pizza one evening. That's a meal. That's coming off of our t-shirt costs. And while we could have come up with the money elsewhere, I want to thank you because while it is fun, it is ministry. And our goal is to share the gospel of Christ. Whether you're a believer or not, does not matter to me. That's what our goal is, and you supported that. And I want to thank you. It is easy to come to town council and complain when we don't get our way. And it would have been easy for you to say, well, that's outside the town limits, Pastor Nate, we can't do it. But you did not do that. And I want to thank you. I want to get on the record that I publicly, not that I did, that you were publicly thanked. That's all that I wanted to see.
Thank you. Thanks. We'd like to thank you for continuing to put this camp on because it does touch so many young people's lives every year. You see the discussions on Facebook about it and everything, and everybody loves it.
It's my favorite time of the year. I appreciate your kind words.
Absolutely. So next, council comments.
I have a question for Manager Reagan. Feeding Southwest Virginia. Do we have an update on that?
Well, Susan was nice enough to try and tackle that for me, and she has reached out to them twice, and they've not contacted us back. So, not much of an update, but that's
I
for
mean,
them.
we've opened the door for them, so I mean, that's about all we can do.
And then I would like to brag on the police department, Chief Lambert and Lieutenant Menifee. We had a citizen that was suffering from a cognitive disorder, and he ended up in Salem, Roanoke,
Botetourt County.
Botetourt. And thankfully, he ran out of gas and was found by a trooper
Yeah, on the side of the interstate.
on the side of the interstate, and was able to take care of the man, and his wife was able to get him, but his vehicle got towed. And if you know anything about towing companies, there's an pretty expensive tow bill and storage fee. Well, the chief and Lieutenant Menifee, they took it upon themselves to go pick that car up. They're a elderly couple. Not because they were obligated, not because they were required, because it was the right thing to do. Law enforcement is much more than writing a speeding ticket or making an arrest. Very small part of it. Law enforcement's doing the right thing and helping people. And I want to say thank you for that.
Yes, sir. That tow company, after we got there and told the story, didn't charge nothing great to go get that vehicle as well.
Thank you, Chief. I appreciate it.
I was actually talking about that gentleman. It's a little emotional because it's sad, but they don't have any family around here. And, it was sad.
That's the stories you don't see. You hear about the bad things that happen or the big things that happen, but you don't see the little things that law enforcement do to help in, small town of Tazewell, limited on officers. The chief and the lieutenant drives to Botetourt County to me that's commendable.
Absolutely. Yep. Zach, Lynn? I just got one thing to say. So Attorney Pyatt did call me, and our junior league girls softball team won state, and they're moving on to Southwest, so they'll be playing teams from Tennessee, Kentucky, and everywhere else. So a bit of good news, and I told him I would put that out. We seem to be able to put some ball players out here, and it's football town, but it seems like baseball is just continuing to do well, and I think it behooves us to take care of those facilities so we can keep kind of cultivating these kids that are just remarkable, both softball and baseball. That's it. Unless anybody has anything else, I can't ask for a motion could say thank you guys for coming out. We appreciate it. And we'll see some of you next month.